You're listening to the Capitalism Briefing Show podcast on Anchor FM.
Alrighty. Welcome back to another edition of the Capitalism Briefing Show. It is the 16th of May 2019 and election times is over. It was a crazy week, eh? ZACP made its first debut. Yeah, we came in at 15,900 votes. Not exactly what the party was looking for, but you know what? That is not going to stop the party, and that is not going to stop how I feel about the party. I mean, I still feel positive about the party. I still feel that there's lots that needs to be done. The guys on the ground, the guys doing the planning in the background, I mean, they're awesome. I'm on the groups, and you know what? For the first time in my life, I actually feel positive. I don't know if you remember, I had a podcast with Adrian de Mello, who was a member on another political forum that I'm on. And I told him my exact words. I remember my exact words to him. I told him I want to be positive this year. I don't want to be negative, because that's all we seem to be doing, is just giving off these negative thoughts and not getting there. We complain about this, we moan about this, and nothing's really happening. Yes, I know the ANC is still in power. But I want to be positive. I just want to be positive. Yes, man. Come on. Clap hands. Yeah, man. We've got to be positive. Anyway, right. Tonight's show is with Beth, as you saw there in my title, and we're going to be talking about capitalism and the environment. Yes, I think the title is self-explanatory. It doesn't need much explanation, but that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about that and what we as human beings can do better, keep the earth clean, we all see the headlines and we all see the stories on the news and on different web pages, and that how we are actually killing this earth. We don't realize it. But let's get into it quickly. Let me get Beth on the line, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. How's it, Beth? How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
Good, man. Welcome to the show. I appreciate it. Such a short notice for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Tonight we're going to talk about capitalism and the environment. But before we go in that, I just want to quickly just touch base on the elections this past week. What's your thoughts? What do you think?
I can't say that I'm surprised at the result, but there is a part of me that's really disappointed.
Look, I'm not that disappointed. I mean, I'm still positive. I'm positive. I mean, the ZACP got 15,900 votes. Not what we wanted, I know, but that's not going to stop us, right?
Absolutely not.
It's not going to stop us. We're just going to go forward now. But can you see on the picture there, on the screen, can you see the little picture I got there?
Yes.
What's interesting is ANC lost 19 seats, eh? Can you believe it?
They did. Unfortunately, they didn't go the way I would have liked them to have gone.
Yeah.
But I think more diversity, letting them lose a few seats. Let's see what shake-up can happen.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, DA lost 5. EFF got 19. I suppose we all knew that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
IFP 4, that's normal, I suppose. Freedom Front, yeah, they shocked us. They shocked everyone with their 6 seats increase, eh?
Absolutely.
And then I suppose the shocker is COPE with 1 seat down.
I know. What has happened to them? I mean, they started off so strong.
They did. I mean, Lokwata is a nice guy. I like him a lot. He was on the Renegade Report last year. So I think it was last year or the year before. And I listened to his podcast. I mean, that man speaks words of wisdom, eh? And then Good, which is a new party from Dalil. which got 2
Yes.
seats. That is a shocker. But how many DA supporters did she take there? Quite a bit, eh?
I think so. I think definitely the success of her campaign speaks to how many Western Capers are unhappy with the DA.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course. And then ATM with 2 seats. Also another shocker.
Mm-hmm.
But we know whose party is that, eh?
I actually don't. When you say ATM, I think of Joint Cash.
ATM, I know. It's Zuma's party.
Okay.
Oh, his little party under the table there.
Okay, that's the one that he's the puppet master for.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people are saying that the Guptas are funding them. I don't know. Remains to be unseen. I don't know. We can just speculate on that.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. I've got something here that I got off the internet. Just a quick description. I'm going to quickly copy it here for you so you can also read it with me.
Okay.
Okay, let's get into it. This is the real relationship between capitalism and the environment. Capitalism is incompatible with the conservation of nature. Greater economic freedom entails greener development, which in turn leads to greater environmental quality because consumers demand it. Scarcity is the limited availability of a commodity, which may be in demand in the market. Scarcity also includes an individual lack of resources to buy commodities. Is it possible to run a capitalist economy without threatening the future of the planet? So before we discuss further about this environmental threat, let's quickly point out some key points on what capitalism is. Again, I've got something here, and then I'm going to give it over to you.
Okay.
Okay, paste. Capitalism is an economic system in which capital goods are owned by private individuals or businesses. The production of goods and services based on supply and demand in the general market, rather than through central planning, planned economy, or command economy. The purest form of capitalist is a free market or laissez-faire capitalism, in which private individuals are completely, unrestrained in determining where to invest, what to produce or sell, at which prices to exchange goods and services, operating without checks or controls. All modern countries practice mixed capitalist system of some sort that includes government regulation of business and ownership of select industries to create jobs and pushes up the GDP and economy. So, what is the problem, Beth? After all, capitalism has been very successful in projecting itself as an engine of productivity and growth. Why should it be blamed for environmental disasters? Let's talk about what does this mean, capitalism and the environment.
I think there's been a lot of memes floating around the internet that are saying that capitalism is killing the planet. And I think that might have hurt the ZACP's campaign to an extent, because a lot of people believe that, they want to help the environment, so they can't vote for a capitalist party.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
And I disagree that capitalism is killing the planet. I disagree that any social, political, or economic construct of a country single-handedly can kill the planet. And also, it's been pointed out that killing the planet is it's a bit of a dramatist statement to make.
Yeah.
And that maybe things aren't really as bad as what everybody is saying. But I beg to differ. I do believe that people need to change their habits. And I don't think that we can carry on ostriching and sticking our heads in the sand and believing that, the average temperature is not going up year on year, because it is.
Yeah, there was an article again recently about climate control in that. Yeah.
Yes. So, and there's that new song, We Love the Earth, by Lil Dicky, is it? I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
My daughter actually showed it to me yesterday afternoon. And I was like, yeah, that's really going to help get the message across, that, we have to change our habits before it's too late. And I don't think that capitalism is killing the planet or making it any worse. I believe that we each just need to change our habits, and we've become very consumeristic, and that's true for your socialist, your capitalist, or whatever your specific set of beliefs might be. You are still also being influenced by advertising, and being influenced to believe that you need to buy all the latest fashion from wherever for this season, and then you end up throwing it out at the end of the season, which is it's just crazy. And that's just a small thing of what is contributing to it. I mean, it's takeaways, it's all the processed food that comes in a lot of plastic packaging and things like that. So
yeah, I'm trying to share a photo here. Okay, there we go. I mean, this is what people are trying to say, what capitalism is doing to the environment, the pollution. Like I mentioned about scarcity, the demands that people want to buy stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And at the end of the day, we do have a finite amount of land and a finite amount of resources. And if we keep on consuming at the rate that we're consuming, not only are we going to run out of fuel and oil and everything that actually goes towards making plastic.
Yeah.
We are also, with all of the fumes and everything else, we are going to end up where it's just going to be too hot to grow anything, to live anywhere, we're going to run out of water, things like that.
True what you're saying.
But yeah, looking at that picture, I mean, that's not a business that's done that. That's the people. Consumers of the business, which is people.
This is exactly my point here. You're right there. It's the people that buy it from the business. I mean, the business will obviously do his campaigns and advertisements and saying, please throw away your products and that. But do we, as human beings, do we listen? Do we actually listen?
No, we don't care. Because, you go to the beach and, you don't live there. It's not your home. So you're just going to leave your plastic and your cigarette butts and your straws and everything else. Yeah. You're going to leave it there because you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you don't have to sleep next to it.
I'm just trying to upload another picture. Every time I say an upload failed. No, it's crazy. I know, it's crazy. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on overpopulation? Can overpopulation also be one of the reasons that create this environmental threat? We just touched base on it a bit, yeah.
I don't think that blaming overpopulation for climate change is the right way to go. That's like blaming the murder rate is going up due to overpopulation. And there's a reason that the murder rate is worked out per capita. So it's worked out per 100 people that live in a city.
Yeah.
And so I don't believe that overpopulation contributes to that. When I say things like capitalism isn't killing the environment, people are. I don't mean it's because there's too many people in the world. I believe that it's their attitude. And we're over 7 billion people in the world now.
True.
And if all 7 billion people would actually stop and think about how much they're consuming, how much plastic they're buying, and then disposing of, whether they're disposing of it responsibly or not. If they actually stopped and thought about how much damage that was doing, and stopped or rewound and reduced what they were doing, then I believe that we could see a positive change.
Yeah.
I believe in every person's right to have a family.
Yeah.
I think it's built into us. I mean, if you look at animals in the wild, they go and they mate because it's built into them that they have to carry on their species.
Yeah.
And you can't expect every single human being to turn that off. I respect people who choose not to have kids, but I also believe that everybody does have a right to have a family if they want to.
True.
But don't go and have 4 kids and then complain because you can't afford to raise them. Don't expect the government to help you raise your kids.
Yeah.
That's the only other
Look in China.
side.
Look in China, the law states that you can only have 1 child per family.
I believe that's been reversed.
Is it reversed?
I need to follow up on that,
I need to follow up on it too. Yeah.
Apparently it was reversed, yes.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, do you know what was happening to girl babies when that happened?
No.
As soon as a woman found out that she was pregnant with a girl baby, and you can only find out like later on in pregnancy normally, she would abort.
I remember there was a documentary on Carte Blanche about this quite a number of years ago.
Yes,
But
it's a long time ago. And so they would either abort or they would, for lack of a better word, well, there is no better word, they would murder them at birth and then say that they were still born.
That's right. The documentary that I watched, I remember they would put these infants into like these potties in a warehouse, in a massive warehouse, and they just leave them there to die. How cruel! How cruel is it?
It is.
It's disgusting, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't believe that population control is the way to go, because it is, then you end up with just more atrocities happening. And, yeah, I mean, even a lion that has more cubs than she can look after, she's not going to act like that.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Overpopulation is a threat. No, it's a no-go. It's just that we need to educate people with regards to this. But yeah, we're going to come to that in the next question.
Yes.
How can we as the public address this problem? What do we have to do to inform the public of this threat? I know of one. Okay, a straw. I'm serious.
The straw campaign was successful.
It's now paper straws.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, it takes a bit of getting used to, but then you got to think about why it's a paper straw now. It's brilliant. But yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so to stay on the straw topic, because that campaign was extremely successful, because a lot of people said, but it's plastic, it can be recycled. The problem with straws is they fall out of the recycling machines.
Yeah.
And because they're so light and everything, they actually a lot of times don't even end up at the recycling plants, because they just get blown away with the wind, and then they end up in the sea and things like that. And also, plastic can only be recycled a finite amount of times. I think for some plastics it's once, and for other plastics it's twice. And then after that, you're still left with plastic again.
Yeah, true.
That you have to somehow get rid of. It started with the straw, which was people were encouraged to refuse the straw. Restaurants were then offering paper straws, which I see they still do. We don't eat out very often, but we did go to Spur for my son's birthday on election day, and we got paper straws. Also, what we did is, as a family, we went and bought stainless steel straws, which I keep in my handbag. So if we ever do feel like buying a milkshake or a nice treat or a smoothie or whatever, then we've got a straw with us that we can enjoy that drink. So,
but we need to do more.
We do. The straw was one thing, a lot of people criticized it from a place of non-education. There is a movement called the Zero Waste Movement, and their philosophy is the 5 R's.
Yeah, the 5 R's.
The 5 R's are listed in...
I got it, yeah.
I've just put it up. I beat you to it.
Okay, you beat me to it. Okay, I got it. There we go, yeah.
So the 5 R's, and they're in order of importance. So it's first, refuse. So what you can do is you can refuse to buy takeaways that come in polystyrene packaging. You can refuse anything that's packaged, really. There are ways around it. We don't buy Albany bread anymore. Okay. There was a time that I was baking my own bread, but I mean, really, it's just too much.
Too much PT.
Of a mission. You know? And the thing is, my family loved the homemade bread so much that I would have to make a loaf every single day. So, I mean, if you're into that, then, you know, it's really great. However, for me, it just got too much.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can make your own bread. You can make it as healthy as possible with all the seeds.
Yes, you can. And also, you know that you're not getting, you know what you're getting in your bread as well.
Absolutely.
You're not getting weird preservatives or too much salt or, you know, some lower grade flour or whatever.
Yeah.
But the compromise that we've come to is we now buy the government loaf. What's called the government loaf. So it's baked in-house. So there's not the cost of on the environment of the petrol and everything to deliver the bread to the shops and everything. Yeah. And then also we can refuse to take the plastic packets, and we can use our own bags, our own reusable bags to take that bread home.
Okay, so that's refuse and reduce.
That's refuse. Reducing is to reduce what you can't refuse. So, like, I have a growing family. I have growing children. They like their milk. They enjoy their milk. I can't say to them, okay, well, you know, now we need to think about the environment. So here's some almond milk for you, please. Okay, they're going to look at me like I'm nuts. No. And besides which, almond milk is also packaged. So I've just said to them, maybe we should just cut down on how much we have, so that we cut down on the amount of plastic bottles that we send to landfill.
But you know, Beth, and everything what you say now is it begins at home. I mean,
it does.
With our children, Absolutely. It begins at home. I mean, everything you're saying is exactly that.
Absolutely. It's you need to start at home with yourself. The thing is, people don't know that they can. And also what I'm finding is people are sending a whole bunch of stuff to be recycled that actually can't be recycled.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, if you look on all of your plastic packaging, there's a triangular symbol, which is the recycling symbol.
But nobody looks at it.
No, they don't. Yeah. But you have to. If you're going to do it responsibly and you're going to do it properly, you have to. And the number in the middle of that triangle tells you if that plastic can be recycled. 1 and 2 can be recycled. 3 can't. 3 is a really hard plastic. It's normally what toys and stuff are made out of.
Yeah.
I haven't figured out what to do with that yet.
Okay.
4 can be recycled, and that's generally your vegetables and your bread and stuff like that comes in what's LDPE plastic.
Yeah.
Number 5 cannot be recycled, and this is like a biggie, because all of your chips, your chocolate wrappers, your basically any snack food.
That's foil, isn't it? Yeah,
it's plastic and foil.
Plastic and foil, okay.
And it cannot be recycled.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it cannot be recycled. And then number 6, I don't even know what number 6 is because I honestly can't remember seeing number 6 in my house ever. And then number 7 is just others.
Yeah.
And others cannot be recycled. And I'm not sure if it's just because the companies are too lazy, so they don't actually market properly. That's why they put a 7 on there, or what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But all of your handy Andy refill and your sunlight refill, all of that type of packaging, that has a 7 on it. And it can't be recycled. And I think in a household that still purchases these products, those are probably number 3 and number 7 is probably your biggest contributor towards your plastic generation. So what we do with our non-recyclable packaging is we put it in an eco brick. Now, an eco brick is a 2-liter Coke bottle.
Yeah.
Any 2-liter bottle. You compress all of those non-recyclable plastics in there, and you really got to squash them in with a stick.
Yeah, I got a picture here. Let me try and share it. I can see exactly. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
I'm also typing really slowly to give you the link to the EcoBrick Exchange. So we shove all of that non-recyclable plastic into those bottles until you cannot squash that bottle. And when that bottle cannot be compressed anymore, then you can take it to, there's quite a few pick and pay stores that are now participating in the program. And you can drop off your bottle there, and then EcoBrick Exchange collects those bottles and they take them and they use them in building reading rooms at school. And what they do is they either put them in between a frame,
yeah,
and then spray it with a plaster.
There we go. I put a picture on. There we go.
Yes,
you see the picture.
That's it.
That is awesome, man. But now I don't see this. I don't see this nowhere around. I mean, but I think families, households should do this. This is quite an awesome idea, this.
And, because I talk about it, I've influenced 3 people that I know of to also make eco bricks with their non-recyclable. And another thing you cannot avoid consuming is those blister packs for medicine and Strepsil and Gaviscon. Those plastic and foil blister packs cannot be recycled. So we cut them up and we shove them in our eco.
And it's just a simple, straightforward 2-liter bottle.
Yes, it has to be standardized. So they use the 2-liter bottle so that every brick is the same size for whatever application they're going to use it in.
I was thinking, I work at a shopping mall, and when I walk through the mall and when I walk through the car park, I often see customers drop their papers on the floor. And I walk up to them and I say, sir, seriously, I do this. I say, sir, you dropped your paper.
Good.
Oh, and the response I get is so ignorant. It's just there's cleaners here. They get paid to do the job. That's not the point, man.
It's not the point. It's because, the thing is, we don't have street sweeper on every street.
Look, I got to be honest with you. In certain towns, I went to Margate, Uvongo 2 years ago. And it was the 26th of December, and they had a beach party then. Of course, after a beach party, you can imagine how dirty it is. But 4:30 in the morning, I got up because it was my daughter's wedding. So I got up to take photos on the beach and the sunrise. I took video clips. I made a wedding video, And as I'm walking down to the beach, I saw there was cleaners there. 4:30 in the morning. Can you imagine? And I went up to the one lady and I said, Mama, who's running the council here? She said, DA. I'm like, wow, okay, cool. Because I said, in the town where I live, I don't see this. 4:30, 5 o'clock, the streets are still dirty.
Absolutely. Look, in the cities we do have it, but I mean, that's not where majority of people are literate. When my daughter still went to school, she was horrified that kids that would go home with transport, so in other words, minibus taxis, would just throw their rubbish out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
And I said to her, well, is it at least like an apple core? She's like, no, Mom, it's not biodegradable. It was a chip packet.
Exactly. On this Discord channel that we're on now, on the ZAP group, I mean, we've had many discussions about this, and we spoke about what can we do, and we all agreed. I mean, I spoke to Byrne and the Joker, and we all said we have to change the attitude of people.
Absolutely.
We've got to. We're far behind. We're very far behind, and how are we going to change it? It's a huge challenge. It's a huge challenge. But just by having this podcast already, I don't know how many listeners are going to listen to it, but I hope there is. I just hope people can spread the message and show these pictures of the eco brick in it and the 5 R's in it that we just mentioned about. It's a start.
Yeah.
It's a start. Would you agree? It's a start.
It is a start. I actually, I can't even remember what years ago Europe said to me, no, she's not going to recycle. She's not bothered with this story because until everybody's doing it, she's not going to do it.
But that's exactly the point.
I said to her,
she's got the wrong attitude, yeah.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You need to think of yourself as a pebble dropping into a pond, and you make ripples, and those ripples get bigger and bigger and bigger,
of course,
and bigger. So when people come to our house, they generally walk past our recycling station, and they walk past our eco bricks that are lined up.
Oh yeah,
ready for when we take them to pick and pay.
Yeah.
And they'll say, okay, so what's this about? And because we don't drink, because we don't consume, we don't have our own 2-liter bottles. So we actually have to ask people, do you drink cold drink? Would you mind saving your bottles for us?
But if you go to shopping malls, I mean, every shopping mall's got a recycle plant where they separate the bottles and the papers and the plastic and it. I'm sure if you go then you just ask them, listen, can I have a few bottles? They're not going to say no. They'll give you.
Absolutely. The only thing is, like, by the time you get to that point, they might have squashed it down already to make more space.
Yeah, true. I hear you.
So it can be difficult, and we've just been lucky that, we know people that do still consume cold drink, and we fill a bottle a month, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's not like we have to stockpile a lot of bottles. I just have them all over the house so that I don't have to keep walking to the kitchen to put something in the eco brick. Because if, you need to make it easier for yourself as well. Like, you need to have, next to every bin, you need to have an eco brick. You can put something that's not recyclable in there.
True. The biggest problem our government is not doing is we don't have programs like we used to. I don't know if you remember back in the 80s or the 90s, zip it and the zip it.
Yes, zip it in the zippy can.
That's it. That was an awesome program. And we just don't see that type of stuff anymore.
No.
And this is now the type of stuff that our party, ZACP, needs to look forward in thinking, forward ahead and creating programs like this. Help to stop this threat.
Absolutely, because government isn't doing anything. And I actually have proof that government isn't doing anything. Because last year, July, it was announced that in the city of Johannesburg, which is where the areas that were part of the voluntary recycling program would now it would be compulsory for them to recycle from the 1st of July. So they didn't roll out more recycling to more areas.
Yeah.
They just made it compulsory where it was existing. At the time, there were 2 people on my street, myself and a house 4 houses down from me, that were recycling. Guess how many people are recycling now?
Not
the same.
Yeah. Not
no. And I spoke to the leader of our community policing forum. I said to her, at the next meeting, I'd like to bring up about this recycling because not everything's recycling. So she sent me an infographic back, which was a terrible infographic because it didn't actually state which plastics are recyclable and which weren't. And this is the information that government is putting out and trying to get people to recycle. Because, everybody's just going to put everything in that recycling bag thinking, plastic can be recycled.
Yeah.
And you know what the recycling plant's going to do when they receive that bag? Mm-hmm. They're going to see chip packets and they're going to say, I'm not thinking through this, and they're going to tie it up and they're going to send the whole thing to landfill.
Have you got a couple of links? Because, I was thinking after this podcast, when I posted, I want to put a couple of links on of, some stuff that we can educate the nation out there, programs and that.
Absolutely. I think a good place to be exchange.org, because you sending people to that link, they can then realize that there is something that you can actually do with your non-recyclable plastics. And then there's also there's so many websites of zero waste and about going zero waste. I'd have to think about the best one.
I'll look for a few too. I'll look for a few and put them on. But seriously, we need to educate our people.
And also, if anybody is interested, I'm seriously passionate about this. And if anybody's interested, and they really do want to start making this change in their life, then they're welcome to contact me as well.
Oh yeah, cool. That would be awesome.
They can either. I'm quite vocal in the Facebook group, so I'm sure a lot of people will recognize me. So they can contact me on Facebook. They can contact me through my Facebook page.
So you're giving me permission to put your Facebook link on my description. Cool. That would be awesome.
And I'll also send you the links to my pages, which is where I share most of how we actually try to implement this lifestyle. Because it's not just about trash. Yeah. We didn't even finish the 5 R's. The last 2 were actually
refuse and reduce, and then the third one's reuse.
Reuse. So we've got to. This can also be like repurpose. So if you have like a piece of furniture in your house that you're not really fond of anymore, try and update it or something.
That makes me think now of the post that I shared on my Facebook page, and you commented on it about the satellite dish.
Yes, the satellite dish. Yes, absolutely, the satellite dish.
People were burning their DSTV decoders and the dish, and why not take it, put it against the tree, put pebbles on it, and turn it into a bird bath? That was an awesome
Absolutely, idea. It's perfect. Yeah. It's perfect for a bird bath. There were also our kitchen seriously needed updating, but first of all, didn't really have the funds to do it. Yeah. And then second of all, we went through a renovation already, and just watching that being pulled out of my driveway, and I was like, where is that going?
Yeah.
I couldn't do that again, and not with cupboards as well. It was like melamine and stuff. You can't burn it. You can't do anything with it. So I just repainted our doors.
Oh, awesome.
And we replaced the kitchen counters, but we reused the old kitchen counters in my sewing room. So there was virtually no waste there.
Thinking about what you just said now, reuse. I know somebody who moved to Australia recently, about 2 years ago. And they would buy they would buy TVs and that and buy furniture. And if you walk through the neighborhoods of Australia, you'll just see everyone's house. There's an old couch there on the pavement. There's an old TV there. They just dump it and just put it on their pavements.
I think it's like a specific day every second week, or it's like the third Wednesday of the month or something. There's a specific day I know Australia does it, New Zealand does it, and Canada. There's suburbs that they actually just put stuff out on the pavement, and people know that they're giving it away, and they'll come and pick it up and take it.
That's it, yeah. They just dump it on the pavement.
Yes.
Instead of reusing it like you mentioned, yeah.
Well, I suppose if it gets to the point where it's been there all day and nobody's taken it, then but maybe they'll take it back inside.
But nonetheless, I mean, this friend of mine, he says Australia is a clean city. I mean, it's very clean. Huh? They've got laws if the dog poops on the road. I'm sure you know about that one. You got to walk around with a beersum and a scorpy in your hand.
Yeah. Oh, we do it as well because I wouldn't want somebody else's PCs on my pavement.
That's the right mindset to have. Eh? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. As for cats, I mean, they just come into your garden.
Yeah, true. And the 5 R's, okay, then it's recycle, which we spoke about. We've touched base on it, yeah. And then the last one
is... You see how far down the list it is, though?
Yeah, rot.
Because it's not the answer.
Yeah.
And then, yes, rotting is to compost, to make compost.
Compost.
So we compost all of our kitchen waste in a big flower pot, which sits just outside our kitchen door.
Yeah.
And we just chuck it in there, and every now and then I say to the boys, because I've got 2 sons, I'll say, just go dig up some more worms.
Talking about that, I read in a book today.
Not eaten properly. Yeah, sorry?
I read in a book today, that's what the farmers, that's what the boer trekkers, what they did, they used the cattle's manure and turned it into compost.
Mm-hmm.
As far as back as those days, we're talking about the 17th, 18th century, yeah?
I'm sure the farmers that are cattle farmers, I'm sure they still do.
Yeah.
Because they have to feed the grass so that they can feed their cattle on that field next year or 3 years or however they rotate their fields.
That's it, yeah.
So,
okay,
it's easy to do at home.
It is, yeah.
So,
you see what I shared there? I remember we spoke about this. You want to read this?
I do. The Industrialist and the Fisherman.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So this is from Timeless Simplicity by John Lane. The industrialist was horrified to find the fisherman lying beside his boat, smoking a pipe. "Why aren't you fishing?" asked the industrialist. "Because I've caught enough fish for the day." "Why don't you catch some more?" "What would I do with them?" "Earn more money. Then you could have a motor fix to your boat and go into deeper waters and catch more fish. That would bring you more money to buy nylon nets, so more fish, money. Soon you would have enough to buy 2 boats, even a fleet of boats. Then you could be rich like me. What would I do then? Then you could sit back and enjoy life. What do you think I'm doing now?"
I love it. I love it myself. Babe. But it's exactly our capitalist. He's a capitalist, that guy, obviously.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying that capitalists should live, that capitalists live hand to mouth. No. Make enough money that you've got money for retirement and you've got money for if you get ill and you work. Make enough money that you're comfortable. But you definitely don't need to be going out and working yourself to death now. Yeah. So that by the time you get to retirement age, you're actually 3 months away from dying.
Exactly.
Because how many people's stories end like that?
Yeah, true.
How many people work themselves to the bone and just look forward to the day they turn 65 and then they drop dead?
Yeah, they do.
Within a few months or years.
Oh.
Just live your life now. Design a life that makes you happy now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But also puts enough food on the table and puts enough money in the bank account for a rainy day.
Absolutely. Beth, is there anything else on your heart? Anything else that you want to tell the listeners out there?
I think I'm all talked out. Eh?
I think so. I think so too. Yeah. Beth, we're going to wrap it up.
Yes.
Okay. You know what? This was awesome. I really enjoyed chatting with you tonight. It was awesome. And I hope the listeners out there will listen to this and take it to heart, and spread the message. And I hope also the ZACP also takes to heart to this and say, you know what, these people are right what they're saying. We need to introduce programs like this.
Absolutely. And, there's been a lot of criticism towards the ZACP as well. And I think one of the first questions that was asked was, what is your stance on single-use plastic? And he was like,
I saw
bigger problems to fix.
I saw that post. There was also a post today on nuclear waste.
Yes.
I think you also chatted on it.
Yeah, it's not about... Yes, nuclear waste is clean. But the thing is, like a lot of people said on that post, is would you trust the ANC with nuclear? Would you trust that they would maintain?
That's what I said too. I said, is South Africa ready for nuclear? And I don't think so.
No.
We're not ready for it.
We've got 2 nuclear plants that I know of. There's Kuiberg in Cape Town and then one out by Harties.
Yes, that's right, yeah. What they do with that nuclear waste, I don't know. I must actually go into it.
And is it still safe?
It's not really safe.
Are they maintaining?
No, because it's still active, eh?
But the actual plant, like that it's not going to turn into a Chernobyl.
Like Chernobyl. I'm busy watching a documentary on that. Not documentary, miniseries. Chernobyl. It's on HBO. It's on Netflix at the moment. There's only the first 2 episodes. I was actually going to go watch it. It's quite interesting.
If you can send me the name, that would be great. I can look it up.
Yeah, I'll send you a link of that miniseries that's on at the moment.
Perfect.
All right, Beth. Lekker.
All right. Yes, thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Awesome. I'm going to have many more. Okay, to the listeners out there, my podcast is available on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast. It's 11 platforms. This podcast is being recorded on Anchor FM. I will also put it tomorrow. Well, I'm going to upload it now onto the various platforms on Facebook and that. And then tomorrow I'm going to put the video version. This is the first time I'm doing my podcast with Discord. I'm actually loving it because while I'm chatting with my interviewer, the person on the other side, I can share pictures in it. And that's awesome. That's what I spark. Anyway, Thank you very much, Beth. You have a lovely, lovely evening.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And I love being again.
Awesome.
Hash something out.
Cheers, folks.